Even though it's been a terrible year for healthcare stocks, there are still a handful of real winners, like Johnson & Johnson, up more than 24% year to date. I think that's because of their incredible research work and their remarkable pipeline. It's differentiating itself from the pack. So can this pharma and medtech titan keep climbing? Let's take a closer look with Joaquin Duato. He's the chairman and CEO of Johnson & Johnson. Mr. Duato, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim, for having me here. I love your 5 reasons why you should own Johnson & Johnson.
Well, it's pretty easy. You make it very easy, but let's get started first. We had this is a good example. Announcement from the president talking about imposing a 100% tariff on any branded or patented pharmaceutical product entering the country October 1, but it doesn't apply to companies that are spending a lot of money here. You're spending the most here. So I presume that one of the reasons why your stock was up nicely today is you don't have a problem.
We have announced that we are investing $55 billion in the U.S. in the next 4 years, which is 25% more than we invested in the previous 4. And this is all due to the Trump tax reforms that were enacted in 2017 and not confirmed. That was so important. And we align with the administration that we need to bring more manufacturing jobs into the U.S., advanced manufacturing. So, Jim, we have always been here. Right. We are an iconic American company. Jim, when I drive to work every day, the place that I drive to work every day is New Brunswick, New Jersey. We've been there for 140 years. So Johnson & Johnson never left. And we are now, as we speak, breaking ground in North Carolina in a major biologics plan, which ultimately, when we finalize our $55 billion plan, we are going to be able to manufacture here in the U.S. essentially all the advanced medicines that are done in the U.S. So that's our plan, to bring great manufacturing jobs into the country, in robotics, in cell therapy, in biologics, to bring great middle-class jobs.
Okay, now you've, and I think that's true. You also give me hope because you've been talking about how you think that there'll be more advances in human health in the next decade than it has in the last century. How is that possible?
That's a vision that I think it's inspiring. And it's a combination of 2 things. One thing is the advances that we have in biology and in understanding the human body. And the other thing is how technology and artificial intelligence is amplifying that. So I believe we are entering into an era in which the combination of our advances in biology and chemistry, amplified by artificial intelligence, are going to give us cures for many diseases that we thought were incurable. One example of that is cancer. One area that we have been working for a long time in search of a cure is multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma is a devastating disease. And we have now results with our cell therapy Carvykti, in which patients that were about to go into hospice are disease-free 5 years after a single administration, Jim. So that's the type of things that give me hope that in this decade, we're going to be able to address multiple problems like cancer, dementia, that before were thought to be untractable.
Well, one that I thought, and what you've done with multiple myeloma is just extraordinary, but another one that I thought was a death sentence, bladder cancer. Maybe not anymore.
Bladder cancer is a devastating disease, too. It's something that, if you know somebody with bladder cancer, you know what happens there. In localized bladder cancer, if the initial therapy fails, then the next step is removing of the bladder. And that has consequences for the quality of life and the life of the individual. We are now having the FDA approval of a groundbreaking therapy for bladder cancer, which is called Inlexzo. Inlexzo is a revolutionary drug-releasing system that delivers a medicine, a cancer treatment, directly into the bladder. And we have obtained tremendous responses with that, durable responses. And what is going to make possible is that patients keep their bladder. And it's a great demonstration that we can combine our capabilities in medicines and medical devices and bring these solutions to patients with bladder cancer.
Well, let's talk about medical devices. You've made a couple of acquisitions in the heart. It looks like they're all playing out better than expected. Maybe you can talk about how big Abiomed turned out to be.
Abiomed is one of our acquisitions in medical devices, in cardiovascular specifically, together with Shockwave that we also acquire. And Abiomed is doing really great. Abiomed, what they do is heart pumps for your audience. What the heart pumps do is that they take over the heart, pumping blood when you have a heart attack. We have already presented data in a Congress in Europe recently that was previously published in the New England Journal of Medicine, showing that in patients that we have followed during 10 years, Jim, after a heart attack with cardiogenic shock, so they were not able to pump blood into the organs. They were living over a 10-year period 600 days more. That is substantial. 600 days more by letting your heart rest and recover. That's what you can accomplish with our heart pumps with a Biomed.
Okay, how do we be sure that politicians don't get in the way of great research and development, hero things that you do?
I think the U.S. is the best country for innovation in life sciences, and I am of the school of Warren Buffett when he says, never bet against America. Okay. So I think here in this country we have all the elements, Jim. We have the universities, we have the research institutions, we continue to attract great talent, we have the capital markets, and we have companies like us that are able to develop those medicines.
So you don't think that the research part of our country, a lot of these people tell me they feel that they're under attack from the government. Do you think that that things will come through fine?
I'm an optimist. I think that things will come through fine. We've been through ups and downs at Johnson & Johnson over our 140 years of history. Right. I'm an optimist. I believe in the strength of the life science industry in this country, and I think that we will remain the leaders, as we are today, the undisputed leaders in healthcare innovation.
Okay, now I think your company has been set back, and I remember this with Mr. Gorski, who is a friend of mine now that he's retired.
Friend of mine, too.
Okay, and we both felt that what happened with Talc, that there were, obviously there were charges made. We didn't feel that the charges would hold up in court. And it turns out that you have taken a very firm stand. And ever since you've taken a firm stand saying, listen, we'll fight you, the stock has really been taking off. Do you think that overhang is dissipating?
Look, what I can tell you is that we are very focused in going into what is called the Dauber hearing,
yes,
in which the court is going to reevaluate the junk science that the claimants' attorneys are putting forward as the base of their claims. And we think that's going to be positive for us. I can also tell you that since we came back to the tort system, Jim, we have not paid a single penny.
See, people don't know that, and that's
we have not paid a single penny, and that we're going to continue to litigate those cases in ovarian cancer because we have won 16 out of 17 cases in the last 11 years.
Okay, now is it junk science that could derail a drug from a company that's separated from you? You were not involved with the company. Tylenol. Is that junk science against Tylenol? Because I've always felt that Tylenol was the safest of the medicines in that area.
I think you have to listen to your physician.
Okay.
You also have to listen to the guidance of the FDA. Kenvue, who is the holder of Tylenol today,
that has nothing to do with you now.
Has nothing to do with us. It was separated 2 years ago, and I don't have more information there because they are an independent company and they make their own decisions. But I'm confident that they will be able to navigate this situation too.
Okay, people think that I like J&J too much, but I see that when the lawsuit's dissipated, what do I have? A yield with 3%, the only AAA balance sheet that I think is worth it's worth a dividend king. And so just tell me, it looks like this is the moment. The research department is great. The med tech is great. And it's still not expensive, which is really driving me crazy. It's an inexpensive stock.
Thank you. And look, we had a Q2, which was stellar, as you know.
Yes, it was fantastic.
We exceeded analyst expectations. We substantially increased our guidance. And we believe that 26 is going to be better than 25, and 27 better than 26. Why is that? We have an incredible pipeline of innovation that we can discuss.
Now, I know that there are American people who think that you charge too much. There are American people who say that it's the PBMs charge too much. There are politicians who say you charge too much. Look, there's me who says it's so pristine and great. But I'm trying to figure out, what do we say to people who say, listen, drugs cost too much in this country?
We are saving lives with these medicines, and we are trying to make it so that every American can afford its medicine. So every time we have put a drug to the market, we take care that there's appropriate access for every American, and that is our priority too.
Well, that's Johnson & Johnson the way I've known it for as long as I've been alive. I want to thank Joaquin Duato. He's the chairman and CEO of Johnson & Johnson. And yes, it is the best company in pharma right now in the country. Mad Money's back after the break.
Coming up, Cramer takes your calls, and the sky's the limit. It's a fast-fire lightning round. Next. Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.